history when you talk about the All-African game, because we are the second most successful country in Africa when it has to do with the All-African game. But then there are other areas we need to also, maximize. When we are talking about swimming, we are not known in that area, of which we made a very strong statement in this year's edition by winning a bronze medal from swimming. We have other areas of sporting cadre, badminton, not exception. And of course, we are hearing that taekwondo as well will be making its debut appearance on the All-African Games. So I think for me, Nigeria and Egypt, they've also been a household name when it has to do with the All-African Game. But we can still do more. We can do more. Who said that we cannot leapfrog Egypt? If we definitely take that deliberate action towards improving our sporting arena, we can do better than Egypt.
Now, I'm talking about the rankings. You talked about what South Africa have done, especially in some of the areas. And I can tell you now that South Africa are second on the medals table because they have more silver than Nigeria. South Africa do have 22 gold medals. Same with Nigeria. They have 22 silvers and 33 bronze medal as at this afternoon, pending what would have happened from now till the medal table is collated.
Yeah.
But South Africa are now second, and Nigeria have less silver medal as compared to Egypt, because Nigeria have 13 silver medals and 20 bronze medals. So you see, the gold as at golds, they are on par. Yeah. But now it's about the other medals, and the colors of medals difference is high as compared to Nigeria when it comes to silver and bronze.
I think for me, South Africa, they are doing a great job for themselves. But then I'm not part of it. We just need only one goal from Nigeria to also topple them again. Because like I said earlier, it is the gold that counts.
No, but you will be surprised because Nigeria got to 22. South Africa, I mean, at some point, South Africa was still around 16 about.
Yeah, 15 to 16.
Yeah, so you
got some of this silverware. We say that these are the areas of their own strength and that they are maximizing it to the fullest out there. Possibly when we get to athletics, so Nigeria can also maximize that area of strength, because that is another area of Nigerian strength as well. We have the likes of Toby Amoshu and the rest of the team out there that definitely will be sure to bank on them to coast home many gold medals coming in from the athletes. So I think South Africa, they are doing a great job for themselves as well.
Doing a great job for themselves, and I so much believe that Nigeria will do so well, possibly get more medals, gold medals in athletics. That one looks like an area where Nigeria can leverage on, like you said. Yeah. And then one thing certain is that we have Algeria and Tunisia, as the other thing that complete the top 5 teams, 4th and 5th position respectively. Algeria have 81 medals, and you're wondering if those medals...
They are doing a good job. Of course, the competition is still on. They can still, add more gold medals as well to their own rank as well. But then in all, I think Algeria also, they are doing very well. And of course, if you take a critical look at their area of sporting development as well, you say that yes, Algeria, they are doing a whole lot. They have invested a whole lot in the area of sporting development over the years as well. And they are beginning to reap the rewards of that investment which they did past 3 years. And of course, that cut across all sporting strata. It's not just limited to football, where they are also doing exploit, becoming the first Africa to get so far in the World Cup as well, cut across all platforms. And I think that is the reason why they seem to be flying high.
The reason why Algeria, likes of Tunisia, who now racked 46 medals so far, seems to be doing so well. And then you ask yourself, the host country, Ghana, they are 14th on the log with just 5 medals so far, 1 gold, 3 silver, and 1 bronze medal. And they look like, I mean, when you're the host, they say that they should do a whole lot. I don't know, but this doesn't tell well about Ghana.
At all. It doesn't tell well about where they are standing as a host country. One expected them that they should also come to the party, because as a host nation, being at home, you expect the home crowd out there to come out and cheer their teams, their different sporting teams to victory out there, because of the fact that they are hosting and they are the host country rather. Then for me, looking at the position they find themselves 14th as a host nation, you are seated 14th in the medals log after about 7 days, if I'm not mistaken, of the competition so far. I think it's a quite poor one from Ghana. But then let's keep our fingers crossed, hoping that as the competition progresses as well, they are going to at least step up to that standard of at least making it to the top 5 before the end of the competition. But for now, I think it's a disappointing one for the Ghanaians.
The one that will be all. Some of the issues we hope to bring you more as the story breaks from the African Games being staged in Ghana is still ongoing, and we hope that Nigeria from tomorrow they will do justice to the athletics event that will be coming up, and as well as other sporting discipline. We want to be the best. If we cannot get past Egypt, then we need to be host. That's all we crave for. And that's all we hope that our teams and our athletes out there, will display in fine form. All right, let's move now to tennis, where it is all about the Indian Wells ongoing in Florida. In favor of Huga Roan. In favor of Huga Roan. We also saw games that will be played later on to the loss. The man that defeated Novak Djokovic lost to Tommy Paul in the fourth round, 3-6. Okay, that's 4-6, 6-4, 6-3. It's 3-set victory for him there. And then Daniel Medvedev is also through now to the fifth round, 6-4, 6-4 defeat of Grigor Dimitrov. So these are some of the players that have gone through to the next round. Before we talk about games to expect today, it looks like Jannik Sinner, it looks like Daniel Medvedev, it looks like Carlos Alcaraz, it looks like Carlos Alcaraz, Alexander Zverev. They are all through to the next round. But we'll talk about who they will play next now. But Casper Ruud is another player who's also through to the next round as much as we expect. So one of these players will emerge victorious.
Definitely Jannik Sinner, for me, is very, very favored for this very one. Looking at his last exploit at the Australian Open, you expect him to be riding high with confidence as well. But not forgetting the likes of Carlos Alcaraz, even Daniel Medvedev, these are also great players as well. But then I think it boils down to who need it most. And if you ask me, 1,000 points is up for grab. So none of these players will be ready to stand down. It has to do with them looking up to pick up this 1,000 points that's involved. And if you ask me, like I said earlier, I think Jannik Sinner will be highly favored in this one. However, I expect Carlos Alcaraz to live up to the expectation. That is where he actually disappoints you. Jannik Sinner for me.
Tommy Paul, Casper Ruud.
Casper Ruud. Despite the fact that Tommy Paul actually defeated the
it just shows that the young man wasn't even good enough. Maybe 8 p.m. That will be the time when it will be played here in Nigerian time. And so that game, Alexander Zverev, Carlos Alcaraz.
Very difficult one for both teams because both players are very, very good on any day. So it could go either way, but then I think Zverev, my head is telling me that Zverev, but my heart is telling me that it's going to be Carlos Alcaraz. I'm standing in between.
Okay, let's see how far. I'm sure tomorrow I will take my time to look at this particular one, even if I know I'll have to look out for that game, 11 p.m. I love that time because that's the time some of us will settle down at night. But I get to see what becomes of this player. But let's move to the Angelique Kerber. These are former world number ones. Both of them had achieved a whole lot in time past. But when they met at this stage, it was Caroline Wozniacki, 6-4, 6-2, straight set victory for her there. And we also saw Iga Swiatek against Julia Potesheva. She was able to get that particular one straight set, 6-1, 6-2, to get to the next round of the Indian Wells. Emma Navarro against Aryna Sabalenka. This looked like another, the shocker for me. The American, take nothing for granted. Emma Navarro can be a good player. For her to have gone to this stage, no doubt. But then, getting to defeat world number 2, I just think that something went wrong somewhere.
Certainly something went wrong. You had the interview immediately after that loss that she granted others. She said that, she lacked, that concentration wasn't there. She had a whole lot on her mind. I think for me, that actually distracted her from not focusing. And a little bit of, taking your eyes off the center ball, then it might cost you. And that is what happened to Aryna Sabalenka, that she actually lost focus when it matters most. And of course, the better player won on a day like that.
Better player won on a day. Navarro we'll get to see who she will play against. But another result we saw yesterday in the singles, Elise Martins lost to Corey Coco Golf, and Y1 America, is doing it somewhere. Another is also showcasing her skill elsewhere. Dani Parry lost to Maria Sakkari. So let's look at the possibility of the girls in the fourth round now, and these are potential winners already. It looks like it's going to be a cagey tie, but let's see how they will play against themselves in today's clash in preparation, because it's going down this weekend, and a lot of expectation on that particular one. Taylor Fritz, okay, I talked about that one already. We're going to see Yuan play against Daria Kasatkina, and this game is already through. Yuan is already through, and so she will play against Kori Kokogov later today. She played also in the early hours of this morning, and she will play again against Kori Kokogov. Certainly, we'll get to see how that one pan out, and that game will be 7 p.m. just as we're leaving the studio. That game will come live, and we hope to bring you the late update of that one. Will come tomorrow. Iga Swiatek will take on Caroline Wozniacki, and this one promises to me to be experience and energetic flow. Where will the pendulum swing?
Yeah, experience. Yeah, you will say it counts sometimes, but then energy also speaks volume sometimes when experience doesn't come to play. So it's going to be a very, very tough game. But then I think the pendulum will definitely swing in favor of Iga Swiatek.
And then we're going to see, of course, I talked about Kori Kokogov earlier. And so these are some of the games to expect in the Indian Wells WTA perspective. And we hope that when we come tomorrow, we'll abreast you with the results of these games. And hopefully, we're already counting to the without heading to basketball, where we saw just to realize some of the results of the games we saw in the early hours of today. And these are some of the interesting moments. It was not as good as we would have expected for the Golden State Warriors when they played away from home, because they lost that particular one to Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks, a very lovely side, displaying in fine fashion, but a lot of person would think that something fundamentally is just wrong with the guys from the
performance of the whole team. But then let's hope that they can be able to pick themselves up from this defeat in their next game.
The Detroit Pistons were better off than Toronto Raptors in that encounter, 113-104. It ended. The Magic against Brooklyn Nets, 106 in that game. Memphis Grizzlies lost to Charlotte Hornets, 98-110. The New Orleans Pelicans lost 95-110 to Charlotte Hornets. There, I talked about that particular one, to Cleveland Cavaliers, 116. And then Dallas Mavericks, I did talk about that one, won 109-99 against the GSW. We also saw Sacramento Kings against the Los Angeles Lakers, 120-107. It ended in that game in favor of the Sacramento Kings. And Portland Trail Blazers, really showcased class, but in a very cagey fight, 4-point difference between them and the Atlanta Hawks, 106-102. It ended. So these are some of the games that we can rule out to you. But then tomorrow it will be another moment to be more games to expect in the NBA. Let's go on a quick break now. When we come back, we'll talk football, and we'll start with all that played out on match day 25 of the Nigeria Premier Football League.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
You human trafficker.
Honourable
You're a human
This is when you're at their best. It's when they're 12 years for this. So
back. Yes, it's the second phase of the show, Sports Extraordinary, here on Atlantic Television Network. Guess what? It is time to look at the big stories in football. And let's start with the result of match day 25 in the Nigeria Premier Football League, where we saw glorious moments. Goals were scored across various centers. Plateau United defeated Gombe United 4-0. It ended 4-0 bashing, and wow, big one for me.
Massive display from them. They're winning 4 goals to nothing. I think it was a convincing win for them. They're playing at home. You expected that they will get all 3 points, but the goal margin is something that is quite surprising. Big congratulations to them.
And if you look at Gombe United, they are now seated 20th on the log. They have played 25 games, won 7, and they have lost 14, drawing 4. This looks like this looks like a fall from where they have been in recent time.
Yeah, definitely, because Gombe United, for me, they are one of the teams that you say, yes, they have also made their name when you talk about the NPFL league out there. It is very, very unfortunate that they find themselves struggling so hard this season. But then I feel with this win, if they can be able to build from there, it would be okay for them.
And for Plateau United now, they are seated second with 44 points, and they have won some of their games. In fact, they have lost just once in the last 5 games, winning 3 of those games and drawing just 1. Yeah. So I'm not surprised why they are seated second with 44 points. Just 2 points between them and Lobby Stars.
Definitely, Plateau United doing a fine job this season, going toe-to-toe with Plateau, who is also topping the league. Just 2 points adrift of the league leader. I think they've done an incredible job for themselves out there. If they continue, who knows, they might possibly run away with the league, but then it's still early call to make, as we still have about 14 to 13 games to go. But then, they're doing pretty well.
And if you look at what they've been able to do so far this season, you think that they have also been the best scorers. They've been scoring goals for fun.
Yeah.
They have scored 23 goals so far. They've 38 goals so far, conceding 23, and then they have a plus 15 difference between. So you can see how good they have been. And that if you are prolific, certainly the result is just there. And the way they're going, looks like Lobby Stars will have to just watch it. Although Lobby Stars themselves defeated Rivers United 3-2 at the Lafayette City Stadium yesterday to ensure that they continue to hold on to the grip of their title chase. And for Rivers United, that cannot be said, because they are now seated 16th, and they have to watch it because 28 points. Yes, they still have some games to play, 3 games to play, but 28 points, and they are just 6 points below, below the relegation zone.
Yeah, just like you said, Rivers United, they need to watch it, because they are just gradually, heading to the drop zone right now, despite the fact that they have a couple of games outstanding. But then, a game in hand doesn't mean a 3-point at the pocket. That is what it means. They need to watch out for themselves, because this season so far, I think Rivers United have not lived up to that expectation. I expected them, to be contending for the league with the likes of Enyimba, Lobby Star, Plateau, even Rangers as well, who also is a surprise package for me this season. They are also in the mix for the title hunt as well. So I think Rivers United, they just need to up their game. That is what that is when rather that, this team is very serious. Looking at Lobby Star, the way they were able to get all 3 points at home against Rivers United, it tells you a whole lot about the quality that they have. This is what they want to do, and they are set to get all 3 points, whatever happens, and they just find a way to be able to take all 3 points home. And this is what Rivers United should start doing. Start to find a way of getting all 3 points, because it will help them on the long.
To help them, one team that understands what it means to play without losing is Enugu Rangers. And courtesy of that, they are third on the log of the Nigeria Premier Football League with 42 points. For them, they traveled away to Kano yesterday, and they got a 1-1 draw at the Sani Abacha Stadium. In the last 5 games, Enugu Rangers, courtesy of the tactical brilliance of Fidelis Ilechiku, they have not lost any game. One of the best sides now in the Nigeria Premier Football League.
Sure, one of the best sides. Before the start of the season, nobody actually gave Enugu Rangers, a chance to be competing for the title, looking at their preparation during the preseason, even before the NPFL League started. Nobody actually gave them the opportunity or the chance for them to come this far. But then they were able to find their way through, pushing, going away to pick Vita point, 3 points away. I think is very, very difficult for any team to go to the Sonny Abacha Stadium and come back with all 3 points. But Enugu, they did it. I think for me, they deserve an award for that. If they continue to fight in this way from all fronts, I tell you, they're going to mount a very serious challenge against the likes of Plateau United, against the likes of Lobby Star. They just have about 4 points adrift of the league leaders right now. So you can say that they are very, very close as well to hitting that top table.
Very close, yeah. And then the counterpart who played away at home, Kano Pillars, they are sixth on the log, 38 points, in that particular one, winning 11 games so far after 25 matches. Sunshine Stars were 1 better off than Katsina United in that game that was played at the Ondo Sport Complex. And Sunshine Stars now, they are seated 11th on the log with 33 points. And it looks like Doma United will have to dig deep more to get past them, because they are almost at the same part, 33 points. But then for Eyimba football, for their counterpart who they defeated, Katsina United, they're seated 8th. Katsina United is one team, regardless of, because of how good they are, even if they lose a game, it doesn't affect them that much. I mean, they are within the top 10 teams, and well, it's still 35 points. For me, I think it's a good one, but just that the manager has thrown the towel.
Yeah, he has thrown the towel despite his good display so far, because if you ask me, this is a mid-table team naturally, and of course they are still within the range of 8, 9. They are shuffling between 8, 9 and 10th position out there. And of course, this is a very first time in a long while, about 5 to 4 years right now, where they were able to, continue to maintain in fine form for 5 straight games out there. So I think that coach deserves a whole lot of respect, but of course he's not getting the respect that he deserves. Despite doing a whole lot for the club out there, they're still threatening him, and of course this is the reason why he was saying that he's going to step down, life-threatening, and also not meeting up with a contractual agreement with the authority. And this for me, I think is something that the league body need to address, the authority need to talk about it, so that we can be able to see a way forward, because you can't have a coach that have offered a whole lot to the club being threatened, and not just threatening, they are threatening your life. I mean, there's nothing that you can tell me about when your life is in danger. I mean, you are not confident, you are not hopeful of giving your best. When he wins all these games, nobody comes out to give him kudos, but whenever he loses a single game, people go haywire, all kind of threats out there. I think for me, it's quite appalling. Quite appalling,
but it was not appalling for Aqua United yesterday. They defeated Bender Insurance. Same for Remo Stars, who picked Eyimba 1. For Remo Stars, they are contending, struggling for the title. 42 points now they are, and they are fourth, with lesser goal difference, but 42 points with they share with Enugu Rangers. But good one for them at Ikene, getting to win against Eyimba, one of the best sides so far, who of course trade them now on the 5th position.
Yeah, I think Remos, they are doing a great job so far. And for me, if you take a look at the league table right now in the NPFL, is very, very close. The likes of Lobby Star, Plateau United,
Enugu Rangers, Remo Stars, and
Eyimba also is still in the league.
In fact, between Enugu Rangers, Remo Stars, and Eyimba, they have 42 points. Yeah. Pegged together, but the difference is just the goal difference. 8-5-5, and so it tells how tight it can be.
Yeah, and that is the improvement we'll be hoping to see in the Nigerian Premier Football League, of which we are getting it right now. Having 5 teams going for the jugular against each other, it tells you how effective, how competitive the league has become this season. And we'll continue in this angle. I tell you, we are going to see a lot more improvement come next season.
A lot more improvement awaits us next season, but then let's see how far it can go. For Aqua United, the fresh of breath air, haven't won that game at the Fabio Stadium. It looks like going back to the stadium is a good relief for them.
Yes, it looks as though that Uyo Township Stadium it's a very good hunting ground for them, and they are trying to maintain that after winning their first game, after coming back there from the Eke Stadium down to Uyo to play their first game in the Gosula Fabio Stadium against this same Eyimba. They defeated Eyimba 3-1. This is another big win for them. 3-1 again. I think that ground is a very, very good ground for them.
Kwara United defeated Basa United 1-0 in the Ilorin Township Stadium, and then Heartland, the most talked about encounter yesterday. It's the Eastern Derby against Abia Warriors. 2-0 is ended, and one man should be a very happy coach, winning his first game in a very long while. Heartland have not won in the last 4 outings prior to that game yesterday, but they were able to pick that particular win, and I mean, you can see the smiles, and the man says Obi has come out to say that it's the beginning of new things to come.
Let's hope so. That is the beginning of new things to come. After playing about 17 games without testing a win, this is his first win after 17
They've won
games.
just 4 times, this season, after 25 games, and they've lost 11. They've drawn 11, losing 10 games. Massive.
And out of those 4 times they've won so far this season, you can actually attribute 2 or 3 of those victories to Kennedy Boboye when he came there during his short stint out there. So I think it's a great one for them. But let's still hope that Christian Obi has actually find the Midas touch, the magical touch that can be able to continue to get him this fine result.
Fine result, and of course that takes us now to club football in Europe, where we also saw games in the UEFA Champions League, and at the Wando Metropolitano we saw Diego Simeone dig deep, go stick display from the guys here to do the needful, and that was a typical display from the Atletico Madrid team. That is the Atletico Madrid team a lot of us have been missing in a very long while. With that win now, they have qualified to the next round of the UEFA Champions League.
Yes, a good one for Diego Simeone and his boys. Of course, Diego Simeone and Atletico Madrid, they are like 5 and 6 because considering how long...
yeah, like a semen twin.
Yeah,
it's difficult to really...
They are like semen twins.
It's difficult to really divide them because of the way they've been together.
Exactly.
I'm just wondering, it's like Diego Simeone is Atletico Madrid itself.
It's just like what we see in Formula 1, where we say that Ferrari is the Formula 1 and Formula 1 is Ferrari. Because of the legacy that they've been able to carve within the Formula 1 circuit out there. Just like the way Diego Simeone is to Atletico Madrid to Diego Simeone. I think for me, it's a good one. Don't forget, they also have the Champions League experience. They are not just a first-time comer. They've also tested the water. I've even gotten to the final, but unfortunately lost to Real Madrid. I could still remember that dying minute goal from Sergio Ramos before Cristiano Ronaldo and Bale, finished them. So I think for me it was a massive display. And again, another good player who also showed his prowess was Memphis Depay, former Manchester United outcast. He's beginning to get back his mojo out there, coming into the second half, changing the narrative, scoring the equalizer, and also taking the very vital penalty kick that also saw Atletico Madrid through. I think it's going to be a very massive one for the last 8, because the teams that have qualified already, if you take a look at their strength, they are at par with each other.
Par with each other, and we saw clearly now. But before then, we also saw another encounter almost at the same time. This one was played at the Signal Iduna Park, in Germany. Dortmund getting that needed victory against PSV.
Yes, of course. One man that comes to my mind is Jadon Sancho, the Manchester United outcast. You know the trouble that he passed through during his time at Manchester United before pushing for that, season-long loan to, his club, where he has also applied his trade in the past. I think for me it was an impressive one from Dortmund point of view as well. So good one for Jadon Sancho, because the Euros is just by the corner as well. He needed this fresh breath, so at least to keep himself in line to see if he can be able to make the Euro squad for the English national team. So in all, I think it was a great display from Dortmund.
Jadon Sancho scored in the 3rd minute of that encounter against PSV at the Signal Iduna Park, and then you have to wait for 87 minutes to see how Marco Reus got that particular one at the 90th minute of that encounter to seal all 2 goals, 3 points for them, and ensuring that it ended the 3-2 aggregate for the guys from Germany. Congratulations to all the teams now. So clearly, we now know that these teams have qualified. 8 teams clearly have qualified, and Bayern have qualified, PSV have qualified, Real Madrid have qualified, Manchester City, Arsenal, Barca, Dortmund, and Atletico Madrid. These are the teams that we go into the draws for tomorrow at their permutations.
Yes, 8 teams that is going into the draw tomorrow, and the permutation is that nobody knows right now, because any team can meet each other. Arsenal can meet Manchester City, and
yeah.
I hear someone saying, God forbid. Some Arsenal fans are there. Arsenal might possibly meet Real Madrid, and I hear another Arsenal fan saying you are very wicked.
They wouldn't want to, at this point, they don't want
I'm telling you.
anything about look at the Arsenal team. I mean, this is the first time in a very long while where we're seeing any team can play any of themselves.
Yeah.
There's no the big player thing is gradually diminishing. You know, so it doesn't matter whether it's the Manchester City, any of those teams can play themselves and they have the score, the average score, you know, to go through.
Definitely, I totally agree with you, because looking at the likes of Bayern Munich, if you look at their form this season, they have not been at their best. So Arsenal will not be afraid to take on Bayern Munich, but I still hear another Arsenal fan saying no. God knows why they are saying no. But if you take a look at Real Madrid as well, they have actually struggled so far, but they just find a way to get the point and go through, and this is what a big team is made up of. This is what a Champions League experienced team that have won the Champions League more than any other club in the history of the Champions League 14 times. I think this is what it is. Look at the likes of PSG as well. You may say, yes, they are also not doing bad as well, with Kylian Mbappe hoping to make a signatory, a name for himself before leaving at the end of this season. So I think for me, it's going to be a great pair come tomorrow. But then, in all of these 4 teams that is remaining, something that is very striking is that 4 managers out of these 4 teams has a link with Barcelona. The likes of Manchester City has a link with their coach, talking about Pep Guardiola with Barcelona. You talk about the likes of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta have done on the jersey of Barcelona. Talk about PSG, Enrique has a link, with, so all of this, in all, I think Barcelona also as well with Hernandez, at least also is a Barcelona product. So there's something about, Barcelona in this mix. I'm definitely seeing that, though many people may not give them chance, but I see Barcelona as that team that may, in quote, spring a surprise in this year's edition of the Champions League.
All right, no surprise so far in the Europa Cup as games are on already. Slava Prague taking on Milan. It's still